In today's video, we will be discussing how to get financial freedom. Financial freedom is the ability to live life without worrying about money. It means having enough passive income and savings to live your desired lifestyle. And it gives you the freedom to pursue your dreams and your passions. So how do we get financial freedom? First, we are going to talk about what financial freedom means so that we are on the same page. Then we're going to talk about how to organize your finances, and I'm going to share my secret hack with you to make this really easy. And then we will discuss debt and having an emergency fund and where I like to keep my emergency fund. And then we will talk about creating that passive income so we can achieve financial freedom. And I will share how I've been able to create passive income. And then we'll talk about contributing to your investment accounts and how I make that really, really easy so people actually do it. And for sure, you don't want to miss the last step because it makes the biggest difference. All right, so part one, what is financial freedom? To me, financial freedom means the ability to live your lifestyle without having to worry about money or rely on someone else for money. And we need to define what financial freedom is so that we can figure out how to achieve financial freedom. So think about, what is your ideal lifestyle? How much passive income do you want, or are you going to need to live that desired lifestyle? Take some time to really reflect on your goals and your dreams and really what you want your life to look like. For me, my lifestyle is pretty simple. I have a modest home that I live in. It's nothing too fancy, but it has a nice backyard so I can invite people over, or it has a larger living room. So there's plenty of room inside the house along with outside the house. And it's in a nicer area. It's close to the canyons. So if I want to go on a hike or just go on a drive up the canyon, that's really simple to do because it's so close to my home. I'm not about having a huge mansion and having it be up on the hill somewhere and overlooking a beach or something like that. I'm pretty conservative. I'm pretty happy with what I have. So my expenses are going to be a lot less than someone else who wants that mansion, which is totally fine. Figure out what it is that you want and how much it's going to cost. And going along with that ideal lifestyle that you want, think about why you want that type of lifestyle. Are you just wanting to show off to other people, or is it something that you really desire? You would really love to have that mansion and overlook the beach and the ocean and have that beautiful view. And that would bring a lot of joy into your life, so it would be worth it to pay for that. Once you've figured out your ideal lifestyle and what it's going to cost, another thing to think about is why you want financial freedom. Why is it important to you? This is going to make a big difference in helping you achieve financial freedom. It will help you stay on the path to achieving your goal of financial freedom because you really know why you want it. And it can be something as simple as you just don't want to be stressed about money anymore, or you don't want debt hanging over your head. It can be just very, very simple, or it could be something even deeper. You really want to provide a great example for your kids or your family and friends. Or it could be that you just don't want to set an alarm clock anymore. You don't want to be waking up and pressing that snooze button all the time. Or maybe you just don't want to ask for time off. You just want to have that freedom to travel whenever you want to. So think about why you want financial freedom and comment below and tell me one reason why you want financial freedom. Part two is to set up our spending plan, or a budget as some people call it. We want to have a plan for our money so that we make sure we are contributing to our financial freedom fund. We don't want to just be spending all the money and not investing it. If we have a spending plan set up, we know exactly how much is coming in and how much is going out and where it's going out to. One way I like to do this is by using a Google Sheet and a free app. It's called Empower. It used to be called Personal Capital. But you can hook all of your financial accounts to Empower and see your full financial picture in one place very, very quickly. And that way you can check that every single morning and see where you're spending money. And that way you can say, okay, maybe I need to cut back in this area, or I'd really like to spend more money in this area because that is going to bring me more joy. Or you can say, I really need to be investing more of my money. And if that is something you are interested in, I will leave my referral link below. You can click on that and set up a free Empower account. And once we have our spending plan set up and we are using Empower, if we want to do that, then we can just track our progress along the way so we know exactly where we need to adjust and if we are going to achieve our financial goals. We want to make sure that we are not spending more money than we are bringing in. And then the third part I want to talk about is reducing our debt, and especially high interest debt. In order to achieve financial freedom, we need to have that high interest debt paid off so that we can invest our money and be making more money instead of paying more money in interest. That debt can really drain our money, and it also takes a toll on our mindset. If we are constantly focused on debt and worrying about debt all the time, we're not going to be focused on how can I build wealth? How can I achieve financial freedom? Because we haven't taken care of that debt first. So let go of any judgment that you may have on yourself for getting into this debt or on anyone else, and just make it neutral. And just think, okay, here's my debts, list them out, know what your payments are, what your balances are, what your interest rates are, and take it one at a time and start paying them off. If you want more details about how to do that, I do have another video for you. I will leave a link above. You can check that out later on. But that way, if we come up with a plan to pay off that high interest debt, then we can start doing that. And once we have those debts paid off, we can put that money toward investing or building up our emergency fund, which is actually part 4, building up our emergency fund. This is a really important part of achieving financial freedom because emergencies do come up and we don't know when those are going to happen. So we want to be prepared. We want to have an emergency fund, a set amount in a savings account that can take care of those emergencies that will come up. If we don't have an emergency fund, then usually we are going to pay that emergency on a credit card and pay it off over time, and we will be paying a lot more for that emergency because we will be paying that high interest on that credit card. We really want to make sure we have some sort of emergency fund set up. And if you're wondering how much to put in your emergency fund, I go over that in another video. I will leave a link above. But a good starting amount is to have 3 months worth of your expenses in your emergency fund. And I like keeping my emergency fund in Ally, A-L-L-Y. They're an online bank, so they have a higher interest rate on their savings account. So if I am going to just leave money sitting in the bank, I'm going to have it work for me as much as possible. I'm not going to leave it in just a brick and mortar bank or credit union that has a really low interest rate on their savings account. I'm going to put it in a high yield savings account. And there are different options out there. A lot of banks have raised their interest rates on their savings account because of what's happened recently. So find one that you like and has a higher interest rate and open up a savings account and put your emergency fund in there. And I just want to share a quick example. I have a client who had an emergency come up and she really needed that emergency fund money. And luckily she had some money in her emergency fund. So she was able to pay for some of the emergency with that money, but she did have to find other ways to pay for the rest of the emergency. But she said she was grateful for what she did have in her emergency fund because it helped reduce the stress. She was already in a stressful position because of the emergency, and by having some money to put toward that, she didn't feel as stressed. So just think, if you were to have some sort of emergency, if you had a medical emergency that came up and you didn't have any money to pay for your health insurance deductible, you are going to be in a lot more stress and a lot more panic than if you had money in your emergency fund. And now let's move to part 5. This one is passive income. Since the definition of financial freedom is living off your investments, living that desired lifestyle without worrying about money, you're going to need passive income in order to do that. Because passive income is money that you are not actively working for. That's why it's called passive. And this can even be semi-passive income. For example, I like investing in real estate. I have some buy and hold properties, and I collect rental income every single month from those properties. But if something does go wrong, I have to go over and fix it or call a handyman to go fix it. So it's not completely passive, But if I wanted to, I could hire a property management company to take care of the properties for me, and it would be a lot more passive that way. But I've really enjoyed investing in real estate because it really did help me achieve financial freedom. I also invest in the stock market, which is completely passive. So the combination of those two investments is what helped me achieve financial freedom. But that doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can choose your own way. You can invest strictly in real estate or strictly in the stock market. Or you can even invest in real estate through the stock market, through REITs. So decide what is going to work for you and then work toward creating that passive income. And when we are doing this, we want to make sure and diversify our investments. We don't want to have all of our money just in one single stock, for example, in one single company, because if something were to happen to that company, we would lose our entire investment. So we want to make sure and have different investments, and it can be all in the stock market if we want, or it could be all in real estate if we want. But if that's how we're going to do it, we want to make sure that we have different investments inside of the stock market or real estate. Comment below and tell me one way you are going to start creating passive income. And then part 6 is to maximize our retirement contributions. This step is really important because we want to invest as much money as possible as soon as possible. If you have a 9-to-5 job, this would include contributing to your 401k. And if you have your own business, it could include contributing to different retirement accounts that you have the option to invest in. These could also include a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, or even a brokerage account, which is not fully considered a retirement account, but you can definitely use it for retirement. And if you are thinking, I don't really know which accounts to set up or what to invest in inside of the stock market, I have a free masterclass about this. I will leave a link to that below in the description. You can click on the link and watch the free masterclass. I go over how to invest in the stock market and also give you an opportunity to work with me. And included in that is how to automate your stock market investing, which makes it really easy to invest in the stock market because you don't even have to think about it. So if that is something you are interested in, make sure and click the link to watch the free masterclass. And then part 7 is to continue to educate yourself about finances. There are different workshops you can attend. There's lots of different YouTube videos you can watch. There are a lot of different books you can read about personal finance. And talking about books, I have a new book that I launched recently, so I will also leave a link to that below in the description. You can click on that and get your very own copy. There's also different podcasts you can listen to or even find a mentor to work with that can help you improve your financial situation so that you can achieve financial freedom. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information, and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more great content from me, make sure and check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.